Hi friends, welcome to Avi's Academy. Here I'll be discussing some of the concepts of commerce, management and economics which you all be learning in your undergraduation and post-graduation level of education. A topic that comes in the subject of entrepreneurial entrepreneurship development is entrepreneurial culture. So let us discuss about entrepreneurial culture today in this video. If we want to study the word entrepreneurial culture, first of all, we should know about what is entrepreneurial and then about culture. To study what is entrepreneurial, so we can segregate that word to entrepreneur and then entrepreneurial. So if we study on what is entrepreneur first, then it will be easy for us to and understand what does entrepreneurial culture stands for. So what we will do is we will segregate these two words into three words. First, we will study what is entrepreneur, and then what is entrepreneurial, and then what is culture. So we will do that now. So entrepreneur. So entrepreneur is nothing but you already know who is an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is someone who sets up a new business and he takes risk with the anticipation of earning profit in future. So with that expectation, he carries out a new venture and he earns profit. And then if we take the second word, which is entrepreneurial, entrepreneurial is not just about starting a new business. Entrepreneurial really means it's about the way of thinking of the entrepreneur. You can say it is a mindset. So even we think, at times when we are put into test, we first think and then we take our action. Similarly, entrepreneur also does the same, but the second part is that second part that differentiates us from an entrepreneur. What we do, we think and then we act. And entrepreneur also, he thinks and then act, but the way he acts, it will be unique from the way we do. So he will study, if he wants to perform a new business, he will study the inside out of that business. So he will consider all the factors that he should know about that particular business. So he makes such broad analysis, then he takes decision. The way he thinks, the mindset which he is in, that actually defines entrepreneurial. So this is about entrepreneurial. It is nothing but the way of thinking or the mindset. And then we have another term which is culture. So when I say culture, the word culture, you may think about norms, you may think about customs, traditions, the practices or the habits, etc. Right? So yes, these are the part of culture. But these customs, norms or traditions or practices, they are practiced over a period of time, generation after generation. Then it will become a culture. A custom which is practiced for a period of time need not be the culture, but if it is practiced over a period of time, generation after generation, then it turns out to be the culture. So all these three things, if you combine together, entrepreneur is someone who starts a new business with anticipation of earning profit by taking risk. Entrepreneurial is nothing but the way entrepreneur thinks is entrepreneurial, and the culture is the tradition or the customs. Now if we club all these things together, then we can say entrepreneurial culture is uh, the practice an entrepreneur follows over a period of time. Then it will be inculcated with his peers, and then they will also become an entrepreneur. So that culture is developed within his organization. So this is entrepreneurial culture. So now let us consider some theoretical meaning of the term entrepreneurial culture. Entrepreneurial culture implies that a set of values, norms, and traits that are conducive to the growth of entrepreneurship. So they said They are set of values, norms, and traits that are conducive to the growth of entrepreneurship. In this sentence, if you see, there are certain words I have marked in different colors, right? So we will take those words first. First, you have values. What does values stands for? You can say values are like behavioral standards, nothing but how you need to behave. So there are certain standards you need to behave in in that way only, and norms are actually how actually you are behaving. There may be standards. Do you behave according to that, or you follow your own norm or your own way of dealing? So that is the norm. Trait is nothing but something special in somebody's personality, or something unique in a person's personality is a trait. The that are conducive, next they have given that are conducive to the growth of entrepreneurship. They mentioned, I highlighted that word as well, growth of entrepreneurship. If there are certain characteristics that helps the entrepreneurship to develop in a particular region or in a particular society, then you can say, if it is developed over a period of time, then you can say there is entrepreneurial culture in that region. uh, Values, I said behavioral standards, right? So if you take our traditional I mean our traditional Indian society, there are certain people who have excelled in doing business. Why? Because that those traits or norms or values, that business ka trait, norm or values, that has been passed on to generation after generation. A father will practice a business, then it will be carried forward, I mean continued by his son, then again it will be continued by his son, I mean the next generation, right? If it continues that way, I mean those norms or values or traits which are initially developed, that will continue to develop further. In that sense, in that family, an entrepreneurial culture generally, or it everybody most of them in that family inherits entrepreneurial culture. If the same thing developed in a particular region or in the society, then there are many people who wants to become an entrepreneur. So entrepreneurial culture, if we develop, it will be good for the economy, and even good for the country. Because many of them, or some of them in that group who wants to be an entrepreneur, may become an entrepreneur, and then they change the nor change the general practice, or general practice of job, I mean they can create jobs than being job seekers. So in that sense, developing entrepreneurial culture is good for developing economies. Next, if we take another meaning, it is an environment. You can say entrepreneurial culture is an environment where someone is motivated to innovate, create, and take risk. If an environment is created that will facilitate somebody to innovate, innovation is nothing but you have to bring in something new, right? Which is innovation. There may be some problem. If you find an unique solution for that, find a unique solution for that problem, then you are actually innovating something. Then it's not stop there. Once you innovate, once you have an idea, that idea have to be developed, right? Then you have to create something from that innovation, or from that idea. The creation should also happen, and after creating the idea, you should be in a position to take risk to materialize that idea, right? So if these I mean if an environment is created for these things like innovation, creation, and taking risk, then entrepreneurial culture will be developed in that particular society as well. In this lead, the government of India, somewhere in 2016, they have started with an initiation called Startup India. The focus of the initiation, I mean the focus of that initiation by the government of India, to create an atmosphere or an environment of innovation in the economy, where government intends to develop an innovative product and thereby create an employment opportunity in the country. So under that scheme, what government proposed ease of registration for the new companies who comes under Startup India, and then government said they will provide financial benefits and tax benefits and other benefits to uh, these units or new ventures. So what it does is it will create a sense of it will create a sense of motivation among those individual who wants to be an entrepreneur, but there are no opportunity or no platform for them to be an entrepreneur. When you provide ease of registration, the registration which you need to get to start a company or a start a business, that will be eased, and then you will get, additionally you will get some financial benefit under Startup India scheme is like most of the Startup India initiation based firms are like patent based. If you have an idea, first of all, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you should have some unique idea, right? So if you have an idea, get that idea registered with patent office. You get the patent, you get the patent from the patent office, and for that purpose you need to pay huge amount of registration fee. So what government of India proposed, they said 80% of the registration fee, which an entrepreneur or who wants to be an entrepreneur, who wants to start up a new business, they will pay him as a rebate. And then they said they will give tax holidays of 3 years. So these benefits which are provided by the government, it will enable an individual to try for these benefits, and thereby they may set up new firms under Startup India scheme. So this is one way of developing entrepreneurial culture. Next, we will see a definition of entrepreneurial culture. So Bronson, in 2013, he defines entrepreneurial culture as a society that enhances the exhibition of the attributes, beliefs, values, and behaviors that are related to entrepreneur. If a society enhances the exhibition of the attributes, there will if a society provides an opportunity for those who are in the society to exhibit their attributes or values or behavior with respect to entrepreneurship, then you can say there is entrepreneurial culture in that society. A society that enhances the exhibition of attributes. Attributes are nothing but they are like personal qualities, right? Attributes are nothing but a person's quality. So here we are speaking about entrepreneur. We know what are the qualities we expect from an entrepreneur. Okay, so those qualities, and then values, as I said previously, they are like behavioral standard. Maybe entrepreneur, he's a very good leader, he has a good communication skill, he is assertive, and he leads from the front, or he motivates his team or his employees. All these things he does. And then the values are like how he has to do all these things, what actually he follows to do this, and whether he is ethically right. All those things comes under values. Beliefs are nothing like how, what he is believed in, whether he is believed in earning profit, whether he believed in uh, uh, cooperative work. He wants to work with his team of employees, and behavior, how he behaves in certain or in particular situation, which are related to entrepreneurs. If that is developed, you can say there is entrepreneurial culture. That is what Brownson says: a society that enhances the exhibition of the attributes, entrepreneurial values, entrepreneurial beliefs, and entrepreneurial behavior that are related to entrepreneurs. This is what Brownson defines. Next, we will consider what are entrepreneurial culture comprised of, composition of entrepreneurial culture. So, entrepreneurial attributes. I already explained what does attribute stands for? They are qualities that are generally possessed by an entrepreneur. We have discussed about this previously. I will not explain once again. And then the values. Sometimes what happens is entrepreneur. I said entrepreneur is someone who starts a business and takes risk with anticipation of earning profit. With that anticipation, sometimes he may not follow certain values which are there in the society. He may start exploiting his employees, or he may start exploiting the customers by charging high price. All those things he can do, but there should be certain values for an entrepreneur where he should develop. At the same time, he should make necessary, or he should create such a platform where his peers or his employees and his society should also develop. So that is entrepreneurial value. Then about entrepreneurial mindset, the way of the way entrepreneur thinks. So that also defines, right? I previously said when I was explaining about entrepreneurial, it is his way of thinking. So and I said one thing that differentiate an entrepreneur from a normal person is he thinks, and then he takes decision in a different way, and the decision which he has taken also will be unique in nature. For example, you just see, if you want to tame a bull, uh, sometimes if we are not courageous enough, if that bull is on the path, we may take a diversion and we may take some other route, right? Entrepreneur will not do that. He will study that problem. There is a problem, a bull is on the road, and he wants to tame that bull, or maybe he wants to pass through that road of on the other side, but a bull is there, an angry bull is there. So now what he can do, he will see that problem in a different way, from different perspective. What he can do, whether he can take a deviation and go like others, or he can go across, or he can go under, or he can jump and go, or he can take somebody's help, and then he can reach other side. He will think about all these alternatives, then he takes his decision. This is his way of thinking. He will not be scared of a situation and then he deviates from there. He will find a solution to that, and then we will have various different alternatives, and from there he will choose the best one which he considered to be the best one. Then he moves towards that direction, uh, to take the risk with respect to his decision. So this is entrepreneurial mindset. Then we have entrepreneurial behavior. How an entrepreneur generally behaves, that is what entrepreneurial behavior is. So if these four are combined together, then you can say there is entrepreneurial culture. Attributes, values, mindset, and behavior combined together, it will become entrepreneurial culture. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel Avi's Academy by clicking subscribe button. And if you want to get continuous notification on the videos which I'm going to upload in the future days, please press bell icon.